Welcome to the most potentially cringeworthy hour of your week, where I, your host Shay, dive into the depths of Reddit to read stories that will most likely make you question humanity. And when we're hit with a story that leaves us speechless, we'll say, "Touché, Reddit, you've done it again." Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to first start off by congratulating myself on recording the first episode of the pod.
Yay! You did it!
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have been an avid listener of Reddit themed podcasts for a while now, and so I thought, why not start my own? So, let's get started. Today's topics include the following: rude nail techs, Bumble humiliation, a wide variety of cringy stories, and foot cream? Let's see if Reddit gets me to say touche for the first time. Our first story comes from r/advice. OP says, should I break up with my nail tech after she spoke rudely about another client? OP has been going to the same nail tech for 2+ years. I like her work and she always treats me great. However, last time I went, she was wrapping up the client before me when we were all chatting. She was being super nice to her client like she is with me. But then when her client left, she and another nail tech started saying really rude things about the client, calling her fat, saying, "Good luck finding a man," saying the client was opinionated, etc. I was in a bit of shock and just kind of smiled awkwardly and didn't say anything. Then the nail techs chalked it up to them getting their period. I don't like that. Sucks because I really thought they were rude and it made me lose all trust in them. She always tells me she loves me as a client because I'm always on time and I tip well and come every 2 weeks because I need my nails looking fresh for my work. Same, sis. Just kidding, I'm broke. I don't get my nails done. I don't know if I should not be so sensitive or if this is a legit reason to leave. Also, what do I tell her when I leave? Well, OP, I'm so sorry that you were in this awkward situation. And I'm really sorry for the client that was before you. This is really unfortunate. One, yes, you should definitely leave. I would not support a business or a nail tech that talks as maliciously as this one does. That would not sit well on my conscience, and I would think it would not sit well on your conscience. So, am I saying that right? Conscience. Give me that quote from Finding Nemo.
Are you my conscience?
Conscience. Anyway, yeah, I would leave. I would not continue giving this nail tech your business. Also, as someone who works in customer service, this nail tech should not have been talking bad about her clients in front of other clients. That is a big no-no in customer service, or if you work with people or things like that. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you're going to talk bad about customers, which, look, I work customer service, it's a common thing. People can be really rude, and sometimes you just got to get it off your chest. So if this nail tech felt like she needed to do that, she should have gone to the back. She should have been out of sight from other clientele, because now those other clients may be hesitant to get her services after hearing comments like this, because then it's like, oh, well, what if she's talking bad about me now? Unfortunately, she might, and I wouldn't support somebody like that. So anyway, this nail tech should not have been doing this, and you definitely should not give her your business. Now, when I was reading this story, I looked at some of the comments, and some commenters said, "Oh, you should leave her a bad Google review," which is up to you. I would say if you're gonna do it anonymously. Because you don't want this nail tech firing back at you, being like, "Oh, well, you've come to my shop for 2+ years and blah blah blah." Like you don't want that on you at all, because you don't deserve that. And so you also don't owe this nail tech anything, even though you've been there for more than 2 years. You don't owe her anything. It's strictly business at this point. So you can leave the Google review. Just try to do it anonymously. Otherwise, you don't owe her anything else. So I wouldn't worry about it. I would move on. Find somebody more positive. Maybe tell them this story, and that way they know not to talk shit about you behind your back. All right. The next story is from r/dating advice. I got utterly humiliated by my Bumble match. Here's how the conversation went between me, 25 female, and him, 35 male. Me. Hello. What are you looking for? Him. Something casual? Me. But you mentioned in your profile that you were looking for a serious relationship. Why would you misrepresent yourself? Or is it just me you wouldn't consider a relationship with? And what gave you the impression that I'd be down for something casual when my profile clearly mentioned I'm only looking for something serious? Him. Chill out. If you were like 20 grams lighter, I would have considered a relationship. And right after that last message he sent, he immediately sent an unsolicited dick pic.
Brother, ugh.
Uh, uh, as his final act of humiliation and degradation. I hope you're talking about him, OP, and not you. Oh, she says, I cried and felt so ugly, worthless, and utterly humiliated and degraded. I regret downloading the app so badly. For the record, I'm actively on a weight loss journey, and he is overweight himself, as his photos show. That was part of why I swiped right in the first place, because I thought since we were in a similar body state, he'd be more accepting. Evidently, I couldn't be more wrong. Big yikes. I'm so sorry this happened to you, OP. Unfortunately, this is a common thing with dating apps is you're going to get people who just don't actually care about dating, even though it's a dating app. They don't care. They're gonna be dicks like this out there on the internet. And clearly, this guy is not worth your time because one, he lied in his profile by saying he wanted something serious when he actually wanted something casual. Two, he, said a very harsh comment about your body. That is not okay. And then three, he sent you that unsolicited nude. So, no, don't feel worthless or humiliated by this. Don't take this personally. He clearly is doing this to other people, and is just getting, I don't know, I guess, shits and kicks out of this. I don't know. I don't know why people do this. Unfortunately, people are not honest like you would hope and like you would present yourself to be on the internet. Some people really don't care about their social identity. So don't take this personally. And I'm very sorry about the unsolicited dick pic. It's never pleasant to get one of those. So to that, I will say, touche. But not to Reddit, to Bumble. Touche to Bumble, because Bumble, you surprise me every time I read a story from Bumble. And on to the next story. This is from r/ask Reddit, which if you don't know how r/ask Reddit works, basically someone can submit a question as like the title and then people comment their responses. So what I did was I pulled a few responses that I thought were really funny and that you guys would enjoy. So the title of the thread here is, what's your cringe stories that keep you up at night? That is grammatically incorrect, and it is not because of me. It is because of the OP. And the first one goes, when I was in middle school, my mom finally got me a subscription to those highlight magazines for kids, and I was so excited. I'm excited for you. Those things are awesome. Fast forward a few weeks, and I'm in science class with my friend C, was sitting next to me, and our mutual friend B comes up super excited and exclaims, OMG, I just got highlights. Now, being a middle schooler, it wasn't cool to be excited about anything. And so I just killed her joy and said, so I get highlights every month. Friend B gets kind of disappointed that we aren't as excited. And then friend C, referring to me, goes, yeah, why do you think her roots are so dark? At that point, I realized she was talking about her hair and not the magazines. It was too late to take back what I had said. I have never gotten my hair colored before and spent a lot of time thinking my hair was weird because I had, quote, dark roots, and also afraid that everyone thought I was lying when I said I was a natural blonde. It still haunts me to this day, and I have never tried to seem cool ever again. Yeah, trying to seem cool never goes well. As an awkward middle schooler myself, okay, that sounded. No, I'm not a middle schooler right now. That's not what I meant.
Wait a minute.
As I was an awkward middle schooler once, trying to be cool never goes well. And unfortunately for you, it definitely backfired. Side note, I loved the highlights magazines when I was a kid. I thought they were so cool. I still think they're cool. And I'm 24. Maybe I should grow up. Anyway, so it just is an unfortunate mix up here. And it really sucks. And that's pretty cringy. The next comment goes, I was at a wedding and the best man was giving his speech when he gave the wrong name for the bride. There was a collective gasp from the audience. The bride was shook. He recovered and continued on, but what most people there didn't know was that he used the name of the groom's ex. Ugh. I can't think about that moment without physically cringing. Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm physically cringing with you. That's awkward. I'm sure the bride was extremely upset with that best man, and I hope that the groom was also upset because how could you fumble the ball like that so bad? Now look, maybe he was drinking and maybe he just had a slip of the tongue, but that's a bad slip of the tongue. I mean, that's a bad Freudian slip. So maybe stop thinking about your best friend's ex. Just kidding. Maybe he wasn't doing that, but I give that a touché Reddit because that made me cringe. And the next comment goes, I was a groomsman at my best friend's wedding. Oh, another wedding. And we were mingling with the guests after the ceremony. Now, meeting new people I've never met before, my brain was on full, quote, don't make an ass out of yourself and say something stupid mode. So I go ahead to the bar and saw a new crowd of people that I decided I wanted to introduce myself to. This is when I see this beast of a man who, I shit you not, was a professional wrestler, 6 foot, 5 inches tall, with hands the size of dinner plates. The sight of this guy was as impressive as he was intimidating. Anyhow, I introduced myself, shook his hand, and struck up a friendly conversation. Turns out he's a super nice guy, and we get to the topic of his fitness routine. Unsurprisingly, he's a personal trainer and a mixed martial artist. He asks if I'd be interested in checking out his gym, maybe even sparring for a few sessions. Now, being a fat piece of shit that I am, I'd probably get the crap kicked out of me. So I tried to respond with something like, quote, nah, man, you'd probably kick my ass, or nah, I don't want to get my face pounded in. Instead, my brain was still in, quote, don't make an ass out of yourself and say something stupid mode. And I was overanalyzing my response when I said, nah, you'd probably pound my ass in. I paused. He paused. Everyone around us paused. And he said, quote, yo, that shit gay, dude.
Ha! Gay!
And he walked off. This still keeps me up at night. Touché, Reddit. Touché. What got me was the comment, yo, that shit is gay, dude. That's awkward. That's awkward as heck. I'm also socially anxious. Like, you have no idea how many times I've had to re-record this because of how many like slip ups I've had. And the recovery process is hard. And clearly you struggled a little bit in your recovery with the response that you gave him. So I'm so sorry, OP. But honestly, on the bright side, maybe in future social situations where you're feeling a little awkward or you're getting in your head again, you can use this story to your advantage and really bond with the people that you're meeting and over something really funny. And yeah, it's slightly embarrassing, but what funny story about yourself isn't slightly embarrassing? So yikes. All right. And we are going to move on from that thread to the last story of the episode. This is from r/slash am I the asshole? A classic. Am I the asshole for not letting someone know they were putting foot cream on their face? My best friend, Carol, invited me on a girls' trip recently with 5 other girls, 7 of us total. I know all of the girls, but not super well as I just recently started hanging out with them. I've always had bad skin growing up, same, and as such, spend a lot of money on my skincare, same. My products tend to be high end, can't relate, I'm broke, and cost a lot of money. I like the jars that the products come in, so after using one of them, I refilled it with a foot cream. On the first night of the trip, one of the girls, Emma, asked if she could use my products because she forgot hers at home. It was an 8-day trip, and I didn't want to bring enough for 2, so I kindly declined, and another girl offered her things. I thought that was the end of it, but Carol let me know that she walked in on Emma going through my makeup bag and using my face cream. The face cream that is foot cream. Ooh. Ugh. I realized that she was actually rubbing my foot cream on her face. So I decided to not say anything. I felt like it was funny, and the cream itself wasn't medicated or anything, so it wouldn't harm her face, other than looking a little greasier than normal. The whole thing came to a head when, during a spa night in, I took the foot/face cream jar. That's a fun phrase to say. When I took it out and started rubbing it on my heels. Emma saw it and totally freaked out and asked me what I was doing. When she found out it was foot cream, she totally lost it. I asked her why it mattered to her, and she admitted that she was using my products. I told her it wasn't my fault since she shouldn't have been using it to begin with. But she called me a bitch for, quote, letting her put her foot cream on her face. The girls are divided and it's causing a lot of drama on the trip, so I wanted to get some more opinions. So when I do a Am I the Asshole story, I am going to comment if OP is being an asshole or if anyone else in the story is being an asshole. OP, you are not the asshole in my opinion. I think that this girl got what was coming to her by taking your products after you had clearly stated, no, please don't use my products. Emma should have definitely respected that you didn't have enough to share and it's your product. And she definitely found out the hard way of trying to steal somebody else's stuff because, I mean, when you steal somebody else's stuff, you don't know what exactly you could be stealing. Like, you don't know what their personal use for it is. I mean, they could have picked their nose, then put their finger in the cream and then put it on their face. I mean, you just never know. Not saying that OP would do this, but I mean, you never know. So Emma should have been more careful about what she was stealing. And OP, you did the right thing by clearly communicating with her that she couldn't use your stuff. And she should have listened. So I'm gonna give that one a touché because that one kind of sucks. It's pretty cringy. It definitely made me laugh a lot. And that was the last story for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of TouShaiPod. Be sure to join the TouShaiPod community and be a part of the Pod Squad on Reddit. There you can chat with other members and submit your own stories. You can also submit your own stories by email at the address touchaipod@gmail.com. That's TOUSHAIPOD. Also, please follow me on all the platforms that suit your fancy. That includes YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest episodes and more. Bye-bye.